Hi, welcome back to Gaming for Gamers. So today, not a roundup, but just some thoughts on the year as the year comes to an end. There's Noor, we're in London, it's 10 to midnight. And so it's been a year of, I don't think it's been a good year for gaming. I think we can generally probably agree with that. There's been much more awful games that's come out, woke games, woke issues in gaming that's been getting worse and worse over the year, and I think it's not been a good year in gaming. Although it might seem that the last month or so has got worse, I think it's not actually as bad as it is, because it means that the reason it's been bad is because a lot of these woke companies and people saying woke things in gaming and people not taking accountability for what they've done has been called out, and it wasn't being called out as much previously. So I think that's a good sign. But it has been a very bad year for games. It's been a very bad year for gamers. There's so many games that were rubbish, basically. We can go through a list of them, from Concord to Veilguard to we could just keep going. Suicide Squad, Forspoken. We could just go through lists of games that have been rubbish over the last year or so. But there's so many. But I think it's got better, and it's getting better. It'll get worse before it gets better, because there's lots of games that are still in production that started long before this woke backlash started. So there's going to be more games coming out that are going to be rubbish, so be prepared for that. But the fact that games have been completely pulled, like Concord, or other games have been really damaged in sales, like Forspoken and Dragon Age Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaws, Suicide Squad. We could go through again a list of them. I think that's a good thing in gaming, because I think there's a point where, however woke and however obsessed the people in the companies are with being woke, either they'll go bust, or the people that own the companies, that if the people that own the companies or the shareholders aren't woke, they will demand more profitable games, and that will be non-woke games. So I think it's kind of turning a corner, and the only way it will turn a corner is either a lot of companies will go bust, I think some will, or the shareholders or owners of the companies will demand that the people in them either leave, and it probably will mean they leave, will make games that aren't woke. So I think that's a good thing. I think we've kind of got to a saturation point with Star Wars Outlaws, Veilguard, Avowed, lots of games recently we could go through that, where it's got to a point where it's almost ridiculous and embarrassing how bad Unknown 9, we could go through, like I said, lists where it's got kind of embarrassing how woke and how bad games are, how, this thing about putting in ugly female characters has become an obsession, shapeless characters that can't really show any muscle with men, characters that have no shape like with women. And again, I'm not talking about overly sexualized characters like Stellar Blade, although I think that should be fine because it's fantasy, but we're talking about like Noor. This is an attractive, well-shaped woman, but she's not particularly sexualized, and anything she's wearing is what I chose for her. But I think it's got to a point of being ridiculous. Dragon Age, the Veilguard, with some of the non-characterisation options in the game, I think kind of showed that, how you couldn't really make a curvy woman or a muscular man for your main character, and I think it's been shown how ridiculous that is. And the same with pronouns in games, and again, Dragon Age, the Veilguard has demonstrated that really badly. Pronouns in fantasy games, reworkings of fantasy games where they're trying to use modern ideals in games it doesn't fit in, pushing narratives of wokeism in games that don't fit. Remember Concord and all the strange miscast of characters in that and that kind of thing. And I think we've got to a saturation point now which just become embarrassing and ridiculous, and I don't think anyone will be surprised at any game that comes out now that's got those aspects in it, because we've seen it so often. And like I said, there's going to be more games in production still that have been being made during the period where woke wasn't quite as toxic and as badly thought of as it's become now. But hopefully moving forward into 2025 and beyond, wokeism will settle down. Like I said, the idea of diversity is all a good idea, but it has to be in moderation. I don't think it should be forced. It certainly shouldn't be forced into gaming of all places, because gaming is really fantasy. It shouldn't need to be forced into gaming, and if it's forced into anything, whether it's gaming or not, it's not doing its job, because it's not really helping diversity or wokeism if people hate it in gaming. And if you want to add diversity and wokeism, you need to do it in a very subtle way. That's how you do everything if you want to get your message across. So diversity as an ideal is good, but not as a way to beat down games and male gamers. And again, if diversity is anything, it's that everyone is entitled to their opinion and their likes and dislikes, and that includes gamers and males, as I said previously. Anyway, thanks for watching Gaming for Gamers. Happy New Year to everybody out there, and let's hope it's a Happy New Year for everybody in their own lives and also in the world of gaming. Take care for now.